This past fall, I was granted the opportunity to travel to London and study at King's College. When I left my home in Los Angeles on September 15th and began my long journey, it was the first time that I had left the United States by myself. When I first arrived in central London, I was deeply overwhelmed. The air smelled like cigarettes, the beer was warm and flat, and the streets were full of people. All I wanted to do was take a shower and sleep, but I had no pillows, no towels, and no blanket. That night I ended up sleeping on my bare student resident mattress wrapped in clothes for warmth. I got myself a blanket, some sheets, and began to explore the beautiful city around me. I soon found that my local tube stop was London Bridge, which I had heard of in the nursery rhyme, but never imagined that I would find myself coming and going from every day. I also learned that my residence was located right before the Thames, and walking across the river during sunset quickly became a favorite pastime. I soon had the opportunity to meet other study abroad students. We were a large and diverse group, and I had a great time getting to know young people from around the world. In the first days, I met accounting students from Italy, philosophy students from Greece, and even English students from Russia. The picture here was taken on one of the first nights I met the students. This picture features my friend Niels in front of a popular bagel bakery. However, I was still a little homesick and missing my family. Luckily, I had a friend from Los Angeles who had just finished her master's from University of Edinburgh. She kindly showed me around the city and took me to eat some delicious food. While I did not photograph my noodles, in this picture you can see some graffiti that we spotted in Soho. I do not know the artist's name, but his pieces can be seen throughout London. Over the next few weeks, I got to know the city a little better. I learned how to take public transportation and started taking my classes. I also met some lovely people that would become some of my closest friends. Eventually, I began to feel at ease in London. Soon, I started to travel. I decided to use my first trip to go to the city of Marseille in the south of France. I took this trip alone, and while I had been in London alone, this was different, as I was not part of a greater community of study abroad students. In Marseille, I was just a solo traveler, one of many staying at Vertigo Hostel. However, I soon found that I was anything but alone. I quickly met some Brazilian students that had coincidentally also been studying in the UK. I was incredibly excited to meet some fellow Brazilians, and we spent the next couple days enjoying the lovely port city of Marseille. On my last day, I joined some travelers from Germany, Austria, and England, and we went hiking. This photo was taken on a little beach in between the cliffs of Marseille. On a brisk October day, my fellow hikers and I decided to take an impromptu swim. It felt magical to be swimming in the ocean with some beautiful humans from around the world. When I came back to London, I felt ready to take full advantage of my location. I didn't want to miss a second. I started going to art shows. This picture was taken at a sculptural exhibit by Polly Noor. She is an artist who usually works in the digital format, but for her show in Shoreditch, she created a room full of skin suits that was meant to mimic those that appear in her digital work. One of my favorite nights consisted of going to see Car Seat Headrest in North London. It was my first concert by myself, so I was a little intimidated by the crowds, but it felt good to listen to the music and dance with a group of strangers while also feeling completely independent. I also visited a couple cities in the UK. This picture is of my friend Amelia on a boat ride we took in Cambridge. The city of Cambridge was the inspiration for Hogwarts, and it was really interesting to be there during graduation season, since all the graduates have to wear long black robes that resemble the cloaks in Harry Potter. A few weeks later, I managed to meet up with some family members in Paris. While I had not felt homesick in a little while, I was incredibly happy to see my loved ones. It was also fun to be in Paris, where I had not been in many years. We visited all the tourist sites and even took a boat tour at sundown. The following weekend, I spent a few days in Amsterdam. I spent most of my time exploring the museums. My favorite was the Stedelijk, which, while rather small, had an excellent selection of contemporary art. I was also lucky enough to have come during the International Documentary Film Festival, so I attended several screenings of excellent, if harrowing, documentaries. A few weeks after that, I went to Lisbon to visit some close family friends. They had moved there from Rio, and I was excited to see their new home and have them show me around. I can now confidently say that Portuguese wine is the best wine, and that pastéis de nata are just as delicious as they look. After visiting Lisbon, I returned to London to finish up my classes and enjoy the city for a few more weekends. But when the semester ended, I went on another trip. This time it had an academic focus. I had been studying German politics and wanted to see the country firsthand. This picture was taken in Berlin, where I was consistently taken aback by the architecture and the art exhibits. I then took a bus to Dresden. I was excited to see the city, as I was familiar with it from articles, history, and short stories, but nothing could have prepared me for the experience of actually being there. This picture here was taken in the early evening and shows the spooky sights that can be spotted in Dresden on a winter night. As much as I enjoyed Dresden, I was only there briefly. I soon returned to London to pack up my things. This picture was taken at Hampstead Heath, a park in North London, right before I went to a friend's home to watch some Christmas movies and exchange our goodbyes. I then went to Russia to spend New Year's with my family. It had been many years since I had gone to Moscow, and it was an absolute joy to see my cousins, including one that I had never met before. The picture here shows the Red Square and St. Basil's Cathedral in central Moscow, where my cousin Artyom took me on my first evening. My travels ended in Russia. On the 1st of January, I find myself in Los Angeles again, being greeted by my cat, siblings, and an In-N-Out grilled cheese. I would like to end my presentation with a picture I took at King's Cross in London. I took this on my way home after having gone out dancing with a friend. Today I look at this picture and don't see anything remarkable, just another night, another canal. But it also represents so much that I love about the city of London. The lights, the water, and most importantly, the people that made this experience so special. Thank you for listening.